welcome to Myra's Crafting Playground, day 13. Oh my goodness, this is getting later and later. I'm beginning to think last night I should have changed it from Myra's Crafting Playground to Crafting in Pajamas. And tonight I'm thinking maybe it's the witching hour. I don't know. But anyhow, we're getting later and later, but we're still making it. We're still making it. Okay? And if you're not crafting with me, you're doing it the next day, getting out your own stuff. Sooner or later it'll get done. Of course, now our postal people may be going back to work, so there's hope all around that we may still get our cards in the mail. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Anyhow, moving forward, today's card. This is it. It's called a sidestep card. And I've recently discovered an easier way to make this card than some of the fancy cutting and folding that I was doing, thanks to the Simple Stamper. So she had a way that sort of simplified this design, and I thought, well, why not? So here we go. So this is the card we're making. And so let's see what we're using. What I did was I used the Reindeer Fun DSP, and I used the die cut. I've done this before in one of my videos. I die cut the, do I have one there? I die cut the reindeer. No, that's not the right one. Oh, there's one down there. I die cut the reindeer out of the DSP. And then I die cut 2 additional white cardstock reindeer to give it more of a thicker chipboard kind of feel. So we're using the Reindeer Fun DSP and Reindeer Fun die. Then as well, from Forever Forest, I have some of the small trees that I'm using. Those guys there. They went on this side panel as a decoration. So if you have some other kind of trees or, you know, something else you'd like to put there, that's what I used. And then these 2 label dies, they come out of the Peaceful Season. Now my hands are full at the moment. Let me just put down Reindeer Fun, and there it went on the floor. Peaceful Season, they come both out of there. So I used Joy and Love to You on the front. And to do that, I had the smaller die out of white and the larger die out of green to give it those 2 tails. And then around back, also from the Reindeer Fun, I had the tree and the verse, which says, "Friends and families are the true gift of Christmas." So this is our little card, and let's get to it. So I do have all my pieces pre-cut, which is a blessing. So let's go down to the mat. Let me just pull in my chair, and we'll go down here. I put a piece of paper down today. I thought maybe that would be helpful with some of the glare. Okay, and as well I have some rhinestones for the end for some decoration. So the first thing that we're going to do is our base pieces. So we have 1 base piece at 3.5 by 8.5, 3.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25 and folded. Then we have another piece which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 1.25, 2.5, and 5.5. So, and then I'm just going to bend these up, get my bone folder, try and make them nice and crisp, all bends. So is your card collection growing? Okay, so that stands up nicely. This one, we'll just give this an extra fold. Now the beauty of this card, the simpleness of it really, is that now that you have your two pieces, the way they go together is simply by putting this one over the top, attaching it down on the bottom and around the back. Now make sure not to bring your glue up too high in the back or this part will stick closed. So you want to make sure not to go past there. So maybe put the glue on the back of this, or if you are putting something there, maybe sort of mark it inside. If you're like me, tear and rip tape, I'm putting it on the inside, and I'm going to just mark how high that goes. As a matter of fact, while we're talking about it, let's just do it. So it's going to go there, and I'm going to get my pen, and I'm just going to mark it inside so that I know not to put my tape above those lines. Okay, so that's how that will go together. Nice and easy. And strangely enough, the other thing that you can do is, if you prefer a center piece, then you just put it across the center and you'd have your sides to decorate if you like. But I'm going to do it to one end and we'll see how it goes. So just to eliminate the number of moving parts, I'm going to start putting some of these together. These are all my tiny little pieces. Maybe I'll put my reindeer first so it can dry. So for this I'm using glue, and like I said, I'm just, because it's DSP, not very thick paper, not flimsy, but you know, it certainly doesn't carry any weight. I want to add that to the cardstock, give it some stability, and then to make it impressive, I'm going to add another layer. Get this guy so that he can dancer and prancer. Yes, sorry. I think my favorite one is Blitzen, but that's another story. All right, so we have this guy together. One less moving part, right? So now I'm going to put my panels together. So this is the combination for this front panel here. And what I have there, so first of all, my bases are in Blueberry Bushel. Then I've used shaded spruce. And so this shaded spruce piece is 3 1/4 by 4. The foil is 3 by 3 3/4. And the DSP is 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. So, and if you need any of those measurements or something, please reach out to me. I am trying to get my follower number up a little bit too. Apparently you cannot do lives until you have 100 followers, so I'm really striving for that number, and I would appreciate any support that you would be willing to give me. So that would be great. And let's put these together. Yes, I did put my tape on before starting the camera. I thought, oh dear, this is going to be a little bit longer than normal, and I just wanted to minimize you watching me cut tape. So there's one less moving part. Then this is the piece for the back mat, and the back mat is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4, and this white piece is 5 by 2 1/2. So I'm just going to take this and put it aside. And so this piece as well, this is the one that I put the verse on and the little tree on the back. So we might do that right away. So that's the back mat. So while I have that here, I'm going to take my Memento ink. Whoops, and there went one of my lights. Sorry, that's the light that keeps going out. It's charged and then it's not plugged in when it runs, so that's what happens. And then all I have is my hot light here. Of course, if I did this during the day, it'd be less of a problem. Anyway, so we have our friends and family stamp. That's going right down. And I'm just doing that in Memento black ink, giving it a minute for the ink to transfer. And there you go. Now my other stamp, this one here, Joy and Love to You, which I have on the front, I've already pre-stamped that one. So the only other stamping I need to do, sorry, I'm just moving stuff as we go, is my shaded spruce, my little tree. So we'll ink that up. And I'm going to pop that down over on this side. And again, give it a minute. Don't press too hard, because if you press too hard, you end up flattening your stamp and it's not sort of a clear, crisp stamp. So there you go. All right, that's the end of stamping. So we can put our shaded spruce away. Okay, that's too soon for that. So, okay, that's done. I will add this label onto my other label here, so we can get that in the right spot, and it fits perfectly in there. So got that in there. So that's another piece we don't have to worry about. Then this side piece here where our spruce trees are, let's get that one together. Oh, and I'm sorry, I did not mention the size of the mat. On my little cheat sheet here, the small mat, so that's this one, the shaded spruce, is in 2 3/4 by 1 3/4, and the DSP would be 2 1/2 by 1 1/2. So that's that one together. And then I have a little piece here, and the length isn't as critical as the width, but this is, the shaded spruce is 1 by 2, and the DSP is 3/4 by 1 3/4. And that one, it might, or it should rather, end up folding underneath the, oh dear, blueberry bushel. See what I did? I took the tape off the back instead of off the back of the DSP. So let's be, all right. So because I now have that glued, I am going to put this right down here before I get it stuck somewhere else. Okay, that's about right. All right. So I was looking for my 1/4 inch increment on the blueberry bushel, because I actually want this part of the shaded spruce to go underneath this mat. Like I want it almost like it's continuous, but of course it's not. So while I have this open, I'm going to put my little side piece on. And again, I'm looking for my frame of the blueberry bushel as I put this down. Okay. And maybe while we have that open, we might as well put our little trees on there too. So there are 3 of them in that set. I'm putting the tallest in the middle with each of the medium and the smaller on each side. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue down the center of the tree. Not too worried about all the itsy bitsy branches. I'm gonna put this down. And we'll run up another bead down there. If you hear some talking in the background, it's the John Tesh radio show going on. Of course, it's, like I say, a little bit late, but it's still the 13th. My contractor, my kitchen renovations, has a tendency to stay a bit late, and then our dinner gets late, and our dog walking gets late, and everything gets late, and well, here I am doing the midnight crafting. But okay, so there's our trees on the side. And no, okay. So now I think what I'm going to do, because at this point I'm only left with the big piece and the back piece, so I'm going to put this piece on. So first I'm going to put some tape. She says, looking around her desk, going, oh, there it is, right under my pieces, ha ha ha. Okay, I'm just, this is 1/4 inch, so I'm putting 2 strips, which should be fine for the front, because it's only an inch and something there. What was that front piece? This piece here I'm talking about. So this will go when this is folded up. This will go, the tape's on the back, and it's going to go right down on the bottom there. Sorry, I'm working in a little bit of shadow here. Okay, so that's right on the front. And so that's covered up, so it looks continuous underneath, but it's not. All right, and then on the back here, and I still have my 2 little pen marks here, so I want to make sure that my tape does not go up beyond those pen marks, or I might end up gluing my card together, which would be very unfortunate. So I'm just popping, oh look, somebody's going to get a hair sample. Alright. And just for fun, I might put one more here. Just box it in, right? Okay. So then, I'm going to open that up here, expose the glue. Fold up my card so it's all tucked in together, and then we're going to fold this over and attach it on the back. So it's like that now. Look at that, we're almost done. So we'll pop that front piece on. Oh my goodness, horses in the background. Reindeers on my desk and horses in my background. Sleigh Bells is playing right now. Alright, so I'm going to find a nice happy spot for that to sit. Alright, so that's there. On my back, I have this piece that's going to go there. Now granted, I did have my pieces cut, but I will tell you that it took me a little while to come up with the design. So if you're using stuff from your stash, don't beat yourself up if it takes a little while. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the back. So I have a nice greeting, or a spot to write a greeting there. And then really all that's left are my two pieces here to finish that off, along with some rhinestones. So I'm going to use some dimensionals. Now, as it appears here, I only have one full-size dimensional left, but there's all this edges. Don't throw this stuff out. This is gold. You just give it a little snip here and there and use up this stuff. Do not throw it out. Oh my goodness, that would be such a waste. I'm going to use a smaller piece here. And that's also the good thing about the edges, is you can tailor the size to what you really need. So I've got my, and nobody's going to see this, I've got my ununiform size dimensionals on the back here. I want to leave a bit of room for my verse, so I'm going to put my reindeer skipping up to the sky here to Santa's sleigh. I'm going to put him up a little bit, and then I'm going to turn this over and use a couple more of my dimensionals edges. This is like the land of unwanted dimensionals. Here we are at Christmas time. All right, and I am going to pop this sort of centered over the two. There we go. And then bring in my rhinestones. Whoopsie, I didn't close my glue. Bring in my rhinestones. And what I did here was I put a couple of the small ones just on either side of my banner. Why not? Let's brighten up the joy to you. So I'll just press those on. And then I still did 3 here, but I used a larger stone here and then 2 of the medium stones there. So it's really whatever you have. I probably could look for something other than a rhinestone. I could look for, if I had something in blueberry bushel or something, it might stand out a little bit more. But I'm just opting for, strikes me as being like ice crystals, you know, that sort of thing. So here we go. 2 cards, 2 more cards for my stash, whether it's this year or next. I'm just, let's see if we can get some more light on this. Ready to go. I hope you enjoyed these cards, and I hope you're able to find something in your stash to make them too. So, thanks for watching, and happy getting ready for Christmas. Thank you.